So you haven't been able to return to Palestine?
No, that's, I think growing up in the diaspora, we always, it's like birds without nests. Like we always just want to go home.
Does doing Tatreez help you strengthen that connection?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole practice of it goes back thousands of years. I practice a traditional Palestinian embroidery called Tatreez. It is a very big part of our culture and our art and our heritage. I grew up in the Gulf with my dad's family, who are from Gaza, Palestine, and my mom is from America. To me, Tatreez has been a really personal journey back to my culture. It wasn't until I was older and looking for that connection to my identity that I took up actually learning what Tatreez was. I kind of did it for me at first, and then I realized what it meant to bring that back to my family, and my grandma kind of lit up when I was asking her these questions. My grandma was a very talented Tatreez artist, and actually for her wedding, she wore 7 dresses, and she made about 4 or 5 of them herself. If a woman worked full-time on a thobe, it would take 6 months at minimum. It's not just something quick. That's part of what makes it beautiful. Tatreez as an art form has endured for generations, being passed from mother to daughter, and it has survived and thrived and changed to adapt from displacement and colonization and destruction. It was their everyday wear, out working or in the home. Like some women say they'd feel naked without wearing one. And so this one's a garden thobe, and it has a little pocket up here. And it's a very practical piece of garment because they'd wear them in the gardens as they're working. I'm so grateful to be in Aotearoa, especially during this time. Being able to see people who are still on their land connecting every day with their identity and with their culture has been really special. And when we practice our art, when we share our art, we make sure that we live on and our art lives on. I definitely believe Tatreez and practicing any of our traditional art forms is a form of activism. It expresses life. Palestinians are full of life despite everything that happens to us. I've had the honor to be in a lot of Maori spaces since I've been here, and I am so grateful for all the warmth that I've been shown and everything I've been able to learn. And I'm just very grateful that Miriama has invited me to Pōneke to connect together with our art.
Spending time with Saniah this weekend, I'm really looking forward to learning about her art, her as a person. Yeah, so cool to link up with her and to talk about our creative process, our cultures, see if there's any connections in there.
Gazawi designs in Tatreez are very geometric, and there's a lot of kind of angles and triangles and things like that. So I'm a lot of similarities there.
Awesome. I'm a multimedia artist. At the moment, I'm mainly focusing on creating murals and also illustration work. I like muraling because I get to tell the stories of the areas where I paint, stories about the mana whenua that come from those areas and the history of the areas as well. A few years ago now, I had a mentorship where I was learning tāmoko, and that's where a lot of my learnings have come from about our designs. I share a lot of my mahi on social media. That's the way I've always marketed my work. So watching what's been happening in Palestine on social media has really affected me or impacted how I've felt. We are all connected as Indigenous people. You can't go, that's their problem, not ours. I think it's really important to I never thought part of my work was activism. I noticed that's something a lot of people say with my work. For me, it's just been normal because, especially within my whānau, we've been taught to speak up when we should. We're most likely going to get told off if we don't. It's about moving with integrity within yourself. Our work reflects who we are. It's been a way for me to reflect my compassion and solidarity for the people that those works are about.
When I was painting this, I keep getting told off for being too close to the train tracks. You can see it's pretty close, and then they ended up sending a person out to watch me while I painted it. Got there in the end.
What was it like growing up here?
Well, I've lived on and off here. My family all live here. My iwi, we're from here. I never thought as a kid that I would be painting murals in my hometown, so that's really cool. What about you? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the Middle East, in the Gulf country, and it was cool. Like, I'm very grateful that I was surrounded by a lot of family. That was one thing that I've still carried with me, but it was always a little weird because, yeah, my family are refugees there, and we just still would like to go home.
And so you haven't been able to return to Palestine?
No, that's, my grandpa, even like when they were first displaced, he wouldn't accept it, and there was no buying permanent anything. So furniture or anything that kind of signified like staying, it was always, we're gonna go home. We're gonna go to Gaza, we're going back. This is just temporary.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how that might feel like if I was disconnected from my whānau and my whenua. Just even the thought of that makes me feel really emotional.
Yeah, like it's not an easy experience. Yeah.
Do you feel that you strengthen that connection with your culture by creating the art that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole practice of it goes back thousands of years, and so it helps me make those connections with my grandma. Yeah, and it helps me understand our land better and understand our women better and what they've gone through, and like, because there's very much storytelling in their voices, and all the patterns really come from our land, and you would be able to tell what village a woman is from her thobe, because not just like the patterns of being the flowers, but you would dye your own threads, and so there'd be specific shades of red that were from specific villages. What about you and your artwork?
What I love about the power of art, especially like cultural art, is that you're not only just creating, you're also carrying on whakapapa, our history. This is a mural that I recently completed. It is about Kahe Te Reo Te Rangi. She is connected to Ngāti Toa. She was connected to Aotearoa as well. She swam from Kapiti all the way to Waikanai to warn the iwi there that they were about to get attacked over on Kapiti Island. And she swam over with her baby on her back. The free feathers in her hair also symbolise peace. They go back to Taranaki.
It's amazing how you have so much intention going into your artwork, and you're using these patterns and these art forms that have been around for a long time that you're pairing with your own kind of style. That's something I really love about this sweatshirt I'm wearing, actually, is very special.
Yeah, I really love your hoodie. I saw you rock up in it and I was like, that is a mean hoodie.
It is by a designer named Susie Tamimi, and
awesome.
She reclaims thobes, which are traditional dresses, and other pieces of Tatreez that may have been a bit worn out or can't be used in the way that they originally were, and she repurposes them. This is actually a thobe from Gaza that is from the 60s. I feel very special to be able to wear it and to be able to carry my culture with me and carry Gaza with me in a more everyday kind of wear.
And it's like steezy, traditional, and then like it's connected to you, like means so much more.
Because I know that our art forms are quite different, I'm really excited for her to meet my Auntie Kohai Grace, because Auntie Kohai's work is traditional. She is a weaver, and I feel like those two would geek out on each other's work, most likely. We'll see.
Tukutuku are commonly seen in our wharenui, and they commonly tell a story. And in this case, it tells the story of our iwi, of Ngāti Toa Rangatira, and our tupuna who migrated from Kāwhia. So I didn't just do this on my own, I did it with some other Ngāti Toa people. A really important thing with tukutuku, so it's very much a mahi tahi. I've used the kau. I think I called this section whititira. It's like, you know, we've made it, we're kaha, because that is what kau means. It's courage and bravery and triumph.
It's more powerful when you understand what's being expressed, to have these parallels of leaving your land and to come home, and for there also be parallels in the patterns itself. I have a piece, if it's okay, that I share it with you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gee, that's really interesting on the back. That's the back.
Detail, yes, the back. The back is one where the craftsmanship is, yeah.
because it's like,
also
really detailed.
This is waste canvas. I'll take all of this out.
That's amazing.
So the back is a good visual for what the colors will look like when I take out the waste canvas, inshallah. Can I actually show you some pictures of the chevrons on my aunt's dress that I have? This is a neckline that's very common.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course. So I'm very excited to be sharing Tatreez in Wellington, and I will be going over a lot of our history and the significance of Tatreez and some of its patterns and motifs, helping do a hands-on demo for people to be able to learn. For the workshop design, I had this kind of idea about like having a tree, a cypress tree, like the tree of life in the middle, and then maybe something to like protect it, like harikiki or something. But I'd love to incorporate some of the patterns we saw, especially from your aunt, and like the tukutuku patterns. Yeah.
So maybe like the design kau, which has to do with protecting.
Because it's very similar to like the Gazawi, like geometric stuff and like the necklace design.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's so similar. The way the crosses are, it's so easy to like translate it to an embroidery pattern.
That would work really well.
And then that just continues down.
Yeah.
Cool. And then the tree would be like right here.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, perfect. So we have a few pattern cards. One of them is the one that was created this weekend through collaboration with me and Miriama, and looking at the art that our communities have created. So this is the Tree of Life design, also known as the cypress tree, and there's different regional expressions of it. At the top is very reminiscent of the Gazawi necklace design.
So this is the kau, which has to do with protection.
It's very special to be able to share this kind of collaborative piece with you guys today. So, thank you.
Honestly, it's been interesting to know that there is some similarity and some like a cross culture between the Māori and the Muslims or Palestinian. It's so interesting. Thank you for sharing your culture with us.
Tatreez is a very slow art, and I think that's part of what makes it special, is to do each stitch, you are putting a little bit of yourself into it. And so ideally would love to spend more time and do this over maybe a couple of weeks on the same project with the same people. But I am very excited to just give this little snippet of Tatreez that people will be able to take with them.
When you have a wānanga, there's just learnings that you get that you just actually don't get from anywhere else. You can share stories and you get each other. That's another thing.
I wanted to give you this kofia.
Oh, that's so cool. I am so stoked though. Like, I am really stoked to.
Hell yeah.
I've been wanting one of these for a while now, but I don't know, not knowing enough about the tikanga and...
Can I actually tell you what it means?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
This right here is the fishing net design, and over here is the olive branches, and then these are the trade routes. Very beautiful cultural piece for us. Yeah,
that's so cool. And I feel like because it's come from you, it will be like a taonga for me, and I'll be wearing it as much as
That means a lot. Yeah.
Probably all the time. Yeah. Thank you.
With sharing Tatreez with the participants, I really hope that they understand our culture a bit more and where it comes from and what it means to Palestinians. We breathe in and out life and love in our communities, and I think really making sure that we continue with that, with our art, with our culture, with just our hospitality in general, is activism.
Nice to meet you.